People always say the biggest fear of aging is loneliness. But no one told me that the loneliest you can be
isn't when there's no one beside you. The loneliest is when you've been lying next to someone for 38 years and still feel like you're living alone. I'm Carol Jean, and I was 60 years old when I decided to get divorced. Not because he cheated, not because he hit me, not for any of the legitimate reasons people usually think of. You see this photo? I look so much better than I did in the past, and this is my story. I made that decision at 60, after 38 years together, that everyone thought was just fine. When I told my children, they thought I was being impulsive. They worried I'd be lonely. They asked why, after all those years together, I wanted to leave their father, when, in their eyes, he was perfectly fine. They were so busy with their own families, their own jobs. They didn't understand why their mother would create more problems at this age. I didn't know how to explain it to them. I just knew I couldn't continue anymore. People would ask me, what happened? Did he cheat? Did he hit you? Did he gamble, drink, neglect the family? No, nothing happened. That was the problem. For 38 years, we gradually became like two strangers living in the same house. He'd come home from work, eat dinner, watch TV, go to bed. I'd cook, clean, take care of the kids, then go to bed too. He never asked about me, and I never shared with him. He made all the decisions in the house, big and small, from money matters to which schools the kids would attend, and I just went along. It wasn't that he was violent, but he always believed his opinions were right, and I was too tired to argue. I used to think that was marriage. I used to think women had to endure. I used to think as long as he didn't hit me, didn't cheat, I had no reason to complain. Until one day, I heard a video on YouTube while I was cooking, and one sentence woke me up. Being alone is not the same as being lonely. You can be surrounded by people and still feel lonely. You can be by yourself and feel completely at peace. I don't know why, but tears just streamed down my face. Being alone is different from being lonely. I realized that for the past 38 years, I had been very lonely. I was lonely even when he sat next to me. I was lonely when we ate together. I was lonely when we lay in the same bed. I was lonely because no one listened to me. I was lonely because no one truly cared about me. And honestly, I was terrified. I was afraid I would die in that loneliness. That evening, I came home, looked at him sitting there watching TV like every other day, and I said, "Honey, I want a divorce." He turned off the TV and looked at me with surprise. Not anger, just surprise. Then after a long while, he said, "Okay," just one word, "okay." I didn't expect him to agree so quickly. I thought he'd ask why, that he'd try to keep me, that he'd say, "Let's try to work it out." But no, he just said, "Okay." Later, while we were going through the divorce paperwork, he opened up to me. He felt suffocated too. He felt exhausted too. He said that over the years, he always felt like he was living in a room with no windows. He wanted to be free too. That's when I understood. We didn't hate each other, we just weren't compatible. And for 38 years, we had forced ourselves to hold on to something that couldn't be held. I also realized that over those years, I hadn't been a good wife either. I was cold to him. I nagged at him. I never told him what I really wanted, then blamed him for not understanding me. Maybe the reason he became so domineering and patriarchal was partly because of me. We created the worst versions of each other. After the divorce, my children were still very worried. They called every day, afraid I'd be sad, afraid I'd be lonely. But I wasn't sad, and I wasn't lonely either. I started doing things I'd wanted to do for so long. I took painting classes. I joined a book club. I traveled with friends my age and took radiant photos to post on Facebook. I woke up in the morning feeling excited about the new day. I came home in the evening and slept soundly, no longer worrying about whether he was happy or satisfied with dinner. I lived alone, but I wasn't lonely. Sometimes I'd see him at family gatherings, at the grandkids' birthday parties. He had found a companion too, a woman who was also widowed, around our age. I saw him change so much. He was gentler. He smiled more. He talked to our children and grandchildren in a softer way. He looked happy, and I was happy for him. We'd greet each other politely, even exchange a few words about the weather, about the grandkids. No more tension, no more suffocation. We treated each other far more civilly than we had during 38 years of marriage. My children understand now. They see their mother is happy. They see their father is happy too. They don't worry anymore. I'm 70 years old now. 10 years have passed since the divorce. People ask me if I regret it. I say no. Why? Because I've lived alone for 10 years and haven't been lonely at all. Do I wish I'd done it sooner? Well, I think everything has its time. Perhaps 60 was when I finally had the courage to listen to myself. I learned many things from that marriage and from the decision to divorce. I learned that being alone can be a happy choice, while being lonely is a painful state, even when someone is beside you. I lived lonely for 38 years in marriage, but now, even though I live alone, I'm not lonely at all. I learned that sometimes we create the worst versions of each other in incompatible relationships. He wasn't a bad person. I wasn't a bad person either. We just didn't fit together, and when we were together, we made each other worse. And I learned that it's natural for children to worry, but they'll understand when they see their parents happy. My children objected at first, but now they're glad about my decision, because they see their mother is living, not just existing. I'm not telling anyone to get divorced. That's too big, too personal a decision for each person. But I want to say to women who feel lonely in their own marriages, listen to your heart. Don't be afraid of change. Don't be afraid of age. Don't be afraid of what others will say. Life is so short. Don't spend it enduring. Spend it living. But if you're just beginning to notice loneliness in your marriage, please take a calm look at yourself and try to fix things first.
I wish you, I wish myself, and I wish all of us happiness. Please like, share, and let me know your thoughts.